Actually, I am live. Wait for some people to come in here. Maybe I'll play a song in the meantime. Let's see, what do I want to play? Since he's playing mine, I'll play his. Oh, why do I have no sound? Put that on 50. Oh, it's in the headphones, you idiot. That's why I have no sound. Oh, good. Yeah, this is the song you wrote for me. There we go. Now I have sound.
Welcome to the Mr. Bill Show. We got 80 karaoke and puppets galore. Spin the wheel for $1 and hell, give you some more. Blondes have more. Welcome to the Mr. Bill Show.
I'm playing mine, I'm playing his. There, Bill. I played your song back to you.
Welcome to the Mr. Bill Show.
Make sure you guys can hear me. No, he wasn't. He was playing my song. I was just listening to it. Yep, we turn chat on. That helped. Here we go. Welcome, everyone. It's Snooks. It's all Snooks. Jethro, welcome. Twisted Dude, welcome. I'm just going to play this for a couple minutes until more people get in here. No, you know what? I don't want to hear this anymore. You guys want to hear this? You can hear me. Thank you, Kenneth. Welcome. You guys can hear the music, right? I have that correct, I hope. Yes.
To the Mr. Bill Show. Rating his favorite, don't rate his curve. Just watching while they sing them, but do not disturb. He won't do no
Yo, Howard Faust. Hey, what's up, Ed Eagle? We're going to get into the bitching and the drama here in a minute. They said yes. I assume that means you want to hear the song. I'll keep playing it. I'm not sure what Bill's doing over there. Oh, cool. Happy Friday, Snooks. Get my comms back. Shit, honey, I might have to send you in the store soon. Are you low? I've been smoking a lot more than you. I've been smoking a lot more than you. Last off, yep, I'm looking at it on Bill's too.
Mr. Bill Show.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and X out of that the appropriate way. Not just chop it off. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. We got 13 peoples. You guys said you can hear me. There's a rocket going up in the air. What is it, honey?
SpaceX.
SpaceX going up? All right, cool, cool. It's behind me. I can't see very well. I'm kind of watching it in a reflection. But I like rockets. Rockets are cool. All right, well, I guess since this looks like about what I'm going to get right now, I'll get into this. You guys seem to be pretty interested in the drama in bills. So I'm going to do the live I intended to do earlier. turn this off. Hopefully my internet cooperates. I'll turn everything else off so I'm not stomping on my signal. That's what he wanted. He wanted 80s female stuff. I asked him, and that's what he said. That's what Bill likes. You ever watch him do karaoke? He likes to do Sheena Easton and Paula Abdul and stuff like that. So I tried to give him that. And all he does is complain. I give the guy what he wants and he complains about it. See how he is? Silly billion. So give me a 1 in the chat if you were in Bill's live before you came here, so I know if I'm already talking about stuff you guys know about already. Give me a 1 in the chat if you were in Bill's. Give me a 2 in the chat if you're just jumping in and don't know what's going on. Well, I know you were, Snooks. Snooks is everywhere all the time. Snooks is omnipresent. You guys probably already know that the drama is reaching a fever pitch, which is very disheartening to me. I understand there's always going to be drama, and you can't really help it. I've been doing this long enough to know that any movement gets drama in it and infighting and things of that sort. You can't help it. You get that many people together trying to do one thing, it's hurting kittens. And the problem is everybody in our movement all wants to be alpha. I like hearing your perspective on the drama. Thank you, Snooks. It seems like there's a lot more followers on the left and a lot more wannabe leaders on the right. But they want to lead themselves. Nobody wants to lead the whole group. As much as I had disagreements with Joey Gibson back in the day, I kind of miss having the day when everybody was following one person. Louis Paul Sr., how we doing? It was kind of nice having everybody rally under one umbrella, and we had a figurehead, so to speak. Like I said, I didn't always agree with what he said or what he did. We had disagreements, we had arguments, but I knew Joey Gibson as a person, and I knew his heart, and I knew why he was doing it, whether I agreed with it or not. So that was all that really counted. As long as I knew that his motives were clear, then I was good with it, and I wasn't going to start drama and start a bunch of bullshit. But the difference between I'm trying to read chat at the same time, so I might have to ignore chat for a minute to keep my train of thought straight. The difference between the old movement and the new movement, what they call old school OGs, and the new school, the current iteration of the patriot movement, is the fact that we didn't have so much social media. We didn't have clicks. We didn't have, nobody was making money off it. There were a few people out there that were dedicated to entirely being media of sorts. They, and they would film it. Not a whole lot of live streaming back in the early days. And then take it home and put it on YouTube or Facebook or what. Okay, bear with me a second, guys. Apparently my internet's not going to cooperate. I'm going to switch Wi-Fi signals. All right, am I back, guys? My Wi-Fi's messing with me. Am I back now? I think I'm back. Sorry about that. Like I said, I live out in the country. Sometimes Wi-Fi is ridiculous. Okay. My neighbor is a log truck mechanic, so every log truck that goes by here has to honk at my neighbor. It's funny, but sometimes annoying. Okay, so anyways, where was I? The difference between the old school and the new school is 100% social media. Uh, I am not trying to besmirch the motives of new patriots. You guys can decide for yourselves, and they know what their motives are. I don't try to make it a habit. Every once in a while, there's an obvious malfeasance going on, but for the most part, if you're down there and you're supporting and you're doing what we're doing and you're on our side, and like I said, as long as you're supporting, 9 times out of 10, I'll be okay with that, and I'll call you a fellow patriot. Like I said, every once in a while, there's an obvious person that you're like, like Will, for instance. I smelled him out the minute I met him. So every once in a while, there's a infiltrator, so to speak, that comes in with the wrong message, the wrong motives, the wrong reasons for being there. But for the most part, if you have the fortitude to go out in public and do the patriot activism stuff, you're subjecting yourself to a lot of persecution and a lot of potential hazards to you and your family. So if you're out there doing that, I will give you the benefit of the doubt until you prove me otherwise. So I'm not besmirching the new school. It's been detected in this building. Proceed to the nearest exit. Okay, that's funny. Um, you guys see me out there with the new school patriots. Um, I consider them a new family. They're good people, especially when once you get to know them. I don't always agree with their tactics. I'm not a very loud person. You guys know that. Thank you, Mr. Bill, for the raid there. Um, you guys know I'm not an obnoxious, instigating type person. I like to let things come to me, and then I'm more of a reactor. So we have some varying opinions on like Tommy and Shane and Josh's tactics. We have some differences on that, but I don't hate them for it, and I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about them for it. I won't do that. They feel like they're doing it out of patriotism. They're doing what they do for the movement, and whether I agree with them or not, they're entitled. Unless they're hurting somebody, they're entitled to do what they do, and I'll do it my way right beside them and let them do it their way. And I get shit from both sides. There's the daddy part. That's funny. I get shit from both sides because I hang out with both sides. I cannot, for the sake of online drama, turn my back on people that I've been friends and or acquaintances with for a decade. I won't do that. Um, I've stated it before, and I'll state it again quite publicly. I consider Quincy one of the best friends I have in my life. I'm very honored to have him as a friend. Jelly and I are probably a little more than acquaintances, but I wouldn't say necessarily friends. We have shared meals, a meal or two together, and we have mutual friends, and we hang out and all that. But I respect her. I have her back. I've known her for a long time. So, according to most people's standards, I can consider her a friend. You're related to Josh Michelle. That's kind of funny. Someone said to come here for I don't know. I don't know whose birthday it is, and I can't spank anybody. I'll give you a virtual spank, I guess. But then somebody's going to say I'm espousing violence. Robbie, I can tell you're in a trolling mood. How's it going, brother? But yeah, I get it from both sides because I can't turn my back on people that I've associated with for a decade. But I've found a new group of people to hang out with in the new Patriots, and I like them too. So because of that, and because of the rift that's going on, I catch hell from both sides, and I'm okay. Um, I got strong shoulders. I can take it. Uh, it's frustrating. It's irritating because I hate the drama. I hate the infighting. I hate the. See, my thing is you don't punch right, and I've got a video about this on my channel somewhere because it's been happening for a long time. But you don't punch right. You don't, not in public, anyways. Most of you guys know I'm in the MC world, and our rules are if you have fighting within your family, you do it in house. Some clubhouses actually have boxing rings just for that. If you've got a problem with another brother that's wearing a patch, you guys go behind closed doors, get in a ring, and duke it out until you figure it out. But you don't go out on the street and do it in front of everybody. Because when you're rolling through a town in a pack, all wearing the same patches, you guys are a unit. You guys are a family. And it doesn't matter whether, the guy next to you slept with your wife. When you're on the street, you have that guy's back. And then you guys go fight at home. And of course, that's kind of a drastic example, but you know what I mean. In my world, we don't fight each other out in public. And I was raised that way too in my family. I have two younger brothers. They're about 4 and 5 years younger than me, so not that younger, but they're younger. And we fought like cats and dogs behind the scenes. But, when we got old enough to realize what was what, we had a united front. And you mess with one of the brothers, you mess with all three of the brothers. It's that simple, period, done. And if we started fighting out in public, we would say, Dad's going to kick our ass. We need to go home and do this. Because we were told you don't put family stuff out for everybody to see. And then comes a point that this is really stupid family stuff, guys. This is dumb. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm tired of holding my tongue trying to be nice to everybody. I'm not going to be nice to anybody. This drama is freaking stupid over online crap. I don't see any of you guys confronting each other down at Patriot Corner. I didn't see any of you guys at a barbecue talking it out over a burger or something like that. This is all online bullshit. And we're supposed to be better than that. I got my online drama. It's with the left. And it's not even really drama. It's just me trolling them because they're idiots and it's fun. But I don't think you'll ever see me. I don't think anybody can provide proof of me attacking other patriots online for everybody to see. I barely even do it in private chats. I will express a disagreement and we'll talk about it like men. I don't argue with women. That's kind of pointless. They're never going to see your side until they convince themselves that they thought of it first. So it's out of state patriots attacking Portland patriots. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. A lot of these people are Portland patriots that are fighting with each other. And like I said, this is nothing new. I've been watching this for 10 years. It's kind of the way it is. And social media is just is just expounding on it. It's just making it bigger. So the question often comes up in conversations that I have anyways, is that is there more bad stuff happening in the world, or do we just see more bad stuff? I think obviously society is different now than when I was a kid, when I was younger, when I was a young adult. Society is obviously different, but you and I talked it out before. Well, I hope so. I don't even remember having drama with you, Louis. um, when I was a kid, all we had was 12, 6, and 11 news in the newspaper. So you had to rely on what, first of all, what the newscasters on the major stations told you, and second of all, you had to, and the thing is they were like half-hour broadcasts, so you could easily miss it. So a lot of times you just didn't know stuff was happening. I was well aware of stuff because I always had paper routes. I was a big guy, into delivering papers. I made good money as a kid doing that. decent money, not good money, decent money. So it was something that I held on to. I delivered like up to 500 papers at some point in time. So I kept up on world news, but now I know that I was getting fed through liberal media. So I look back and I'm like, that's not what I thought happened at all. And now that we have the age of information, we can find out the truth about things that we were fed earlier on. If people won't start shit, it won't get thrown back at them. Yeah, that is a good thing. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. I'm a big proponent of that saying. But when we were younger, we didn't see anything other than what was going on in our direct circle, or maybe our neighborhood or our city. If we lived in a small town, I grew up in a big city, so I knew what was going on in my neighborhood, and that was about it. Other than what I read in the newspaper. Nowadays, every time you fart too loud, the entire internet knows it, which is worldwide, which everybody sees. And we live stream everything. Y'all watched me and my wife eat tacos when we went out to eat that day. It's kind of weird in a little bit. I mean, it's fun sometimes, and I'm glad that people are entertained. I'm glad I can entertain people and give them something else to focus on rather than the negativity in their life. So I feel blessed to have the chance to do that. Speaking of, it shows I got over 60 people in here. Make sure you hit those clicky like buttons, please, if you would. Let me know you were here. I like chat interaction. And if you guys want to contribute, look on my homepage and it'll tell you how. It's basically, I got super chats, but I can't get to them, so I prefer Cash App if you can. And if you want to call it grifting, whatever, I'm broke as hell and I could use every $5 I can get. So I will let you know if you want to contribute. There is an opportunity to do that. My Cash App is the same as what you see on the screen is my name with the little $sign thing, yada yada yada. Anyways, that's enough of that. I'm not good at begging for money because I'm really not a grifter, but if I can make a couple dollars to cover my gas and smokes for the day, I'm happy. But so now we have social media and everybody is putting everything, myself included, I'm not a hypocrite, is putting everything on social media and everybody sees it. And a lot of times it's positive. A lot of times I like the information. I learn a lot of things I wouldn't know. But sometimes it's just like, bro, what were you thinking? Sometimes just keep thoughts to yourself. I do it a lot. There's a lot of stuff that goes through my head that you guys will never know because you guys wouldn't want to listen to me or subscribe to me because I can be quite insane at times. So I keep a lot of thoughts to myself. There was a time when Facebook was the newest greatest thing that I posted every thought that popped into my head. I posted on Facebook. I was posting 30, 40 times a day on my Facebook. Every single thought that popped in my head. I thought it was clever. I thought it was funny. And I posted on Facebook for everybody to see. And I look back at that old stuff and I just cringe. I'm like, what the hell? Number one, why was I thinking that? Number two, why did I let everybody know I was thinking that? And I think a lot of people need to use that. They need to apply those questions to themselves nowadays, right now. Before you hit send, before you hit post, read that. Let somebody else in your house read it. Send it to your mom. Let your wife see it. If you've got older children, let your kids see it and they'll tell you if it's cringe. Let somebody else see your post before you actually post it. And let somebody else tell you, no, brah, you shouldn't put this on there. Specific, let's be adults if we don't like what someone says personally black. Yeah, and that's another thing. But the thing is some self-reflection. Some self-reflection. I've done it and I've looked and I'm like, what the hell? And now I run things by my wife because she's probably the most critical person on the planet when it comes to me. She will tell me if I'm effing up. She will tell me if I'm about to F up. So I will run it by her. I did it before this live stream. I've been talking about this live stream since last night. Use your inside social media voice. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But this stuff where every thought that pops into your head, especially when it comes to a situation that relies a lot on optics, on public relations. Part of the patriot movement is to get other people into the patriot movement. Liken it to a church and your testimony. You want to get other people into your congregation. Well, that's the same thing we do in the patriot movement. We want people to say, you know what? I should be doing that. That's why I like to promote fun stuff and see people smiling and happy a lot more than I promote the fights and the antagonizing, because people aren't going to identify with that and people aren't going to want to join that. They're like, I couldn't do that. That's crazy. That's dangerous. I'm not doing that. So I try to promote stuff that everybody feels like they could be a part of. The flag waves. We used to have marches in Portland all the time where we just walked around waving flags. The average person thinks that that's something they could do. And I want people to see that. I want the fence sitter that's at home watching our live streams to see something they can be a part of. I want them to say, you know, I've really been thinking about, that's what happened to me. That's what started me is the threepers before the Trump movement. The 3%ers were having flag waves in Salem. And I was already interested in the 3%ers from the little I had heard about them because we had, you know, various things, Milehauer and the Lavoie thing and all of that going on here. So I was familiar with 3%ers. I said, I want to meet those people. I want to see what they're about. And then I found out they were having flag waves in Salem. I said, well, I can do that. That's not going to, you're not going to fight with anybody. That's just a positive, happy environment to go meet some new people. And in early 2015, I'm going to say, that's when I started my hardcore activism, for another lack of another way to put it. Oh, my screen says I'm at 69. Sweet squirrel. Um, and they were friendly. They were opening. They were welcome. They were open. They were welcoming. And they took the time from what they were doing to stop and talk to me about their message and what was going on. And I said, I can really get behind this. I didn't go down there to fight with people. I didn't go down there to possibly get doxxed and all of this crap that comes along with the patriot movement. But they reached out doing something positive, and that drew me in. And that's what I like to provide. I like to tell people, look, we're having fun. That's why I was so excited about the weekend that we had the flag wave, and then the what do you call it? The convoy, the motorcade, whatever, across town, and then we had a patriot barbecue that you guys didn't get to see for obvious reasons. And those are all positive stuff. But I've been doing this for a very long time. My first, you know, I did activism on my own for years, way before. To me, what you guys call the OG movement is not really OG to me. Um, it was just amplification of what I had been doing for a long time, anyways, by myself or with a couple of select people now and then. Um, Portland's been a messed up city for a long time, and I watched it go downhill. I'm not a native Oregonian. Some of you may already know this. I'm actually from Ohio. I moved out here in '96, and I loved it. I loved the Portland area. I fell in love with it as soon as I moved out here, and I haven't looked back. Um, and it was quirky, but cool. There was some weird stuff that I didn't quite understand being from the Midwest. but I enjoyed it. I like different things. I like variety. Even if I'm not participating, I don't mind watching it. So I fell in love with Portland, and Portland was fun. And I would literally take a bus downtown Portland, or maybe a bicycle or something like that, and just go hang out in Portland all day Saturday and just look at the buildings and go check out the waterfront park and the rose garden and the zoo, and sometimes just walk around at night and talk to people waiting in line to go into the Roseland to go see a concert or the Crystal Ballroom. I liked going to Powell's Books just to people watch. Every once in a while, pick up a book, but mostly it was just to go see people because there's such an eclectic variety of people in Portland, and I thought it was amazing because where I come from, it's not like that. Everybody's basically the same, and we're all angry. Coming from a large Midwest city, it's a pretty different environment than it is here. Some of you may know, some of you may be in Midwest cities, but I loved Portland. But over the next 10 years, I watched it go downhill slowly at first, and then after Y2K, it just plummeted. Remember when the TriMet cost 35 cents? That was a while ago. I think that was even before my time. I remember paying like under $1 though. But I watched Portland go downhill in a hurry, and I say I had some issues with it, some of it. So I did some counter protesting or even some protesting. Um, Way back in the day, some of you, if you're in this area, are familiar with Lars Larson's. Well, actually, we have internet now, so even non-Portlanders know who Lars Larson is now. And he used to actually help organize little protests to things that we disagreed with in Portland. And that all started way back before Y2K. But the movement that started with Trump, it was just crazy. Yes, East Coasters are always it's a different attitude. When I first moved out here, my mom laughs because she said she spent 3 months telling me to calm down because your whole aura, your whole attitude, your whole vibe is different when you're Midwest than when you come here. Everything's like a little slower and a little muted out here. Cincinnati, we would not let Antifa get away with it. Well, see, you're close. I'm from Cleveland, Chris Jarvis. So I'm on the what? Oh, I've talked about this, Louis Paul. I've talked about this. Yeah, yeah. I think somebody was using Travis George just like Portland City Hall used Jeremy Christian. That's a whole nother subject right now. I missed your comment, but my wife caught it. But yeah, I have a whole thing. Yeah, I meant to. I have a whole bunch of information on him. I'll show you later. It's possible. I think somebody's using Will. I think Will is an op. I really do. And like I said, that's a whole nother video though. That's a whole nother subject. But anyways, yeah, it exploded so much that we ended up. That's a good point. Is it exploded so much that it ended up with a Jeremy Christian. And like I said, it's a whole nother video. But Jeremy Christian incident was 100% orchestrated by Portland City Hall, and it was an attempt to keep Patriot Prayer out of Portland. Say that 3 times fast. Um, I was there since the beginning. I had a quick talk with Joey Gibson before he even started Patriot Prayer, and I watched the evolution of it, and I was actually a part of it. The first action that Patriot Prayer had in Portland, I called for it. Um, so I watched that whole evolution, and I watched what Portland did to try to nip it in the bud. Ted Wheeler used political ops to try and prevent Patriot Prayer from grabbing a hold in the Portland area. And Jeremy Christian was part of that. So I know that Portland political figures in City Hall and all of that, and all the way up to Salem. I mean, if any of you guys are familiar with the Lavoy Finicum thing, Salem is not beyond reproach when it comes to political operations either. Um, yeah, so that's the D evolution, the devolving of Portland. I've watched it. I live a little bit outside of Portland now. I don't live in Portland proper. I move a little bit farther away every time I move, but I'm still in the Portland area. Portland still greatly affects. Portland affects the whole state out here. It's the only major city we have. I don't consider Salem a major city or Bend. Portland's the only major city we have out here, and that's the population center. So yes, R.I.P. Mr. Finicum. Uh, that was another thing that got me heavily involved in the three percenters and the patriot movement was the whole Lavoy Finicum episode. But so yeah, where was I? I'm diverging. Sorry, I'm getting away from the straight up topic. I've watched Portland go downhill, but I've watched patriots get more and more fed up with it. And then when Trump came down the golden escalator, the patriot movement exploded. Everybody thought now is my chance to be heard. Um, that's one thing that Trump did that I'm eternally grateful for was it emboldened a bunch of conservative people. No, I was not in an MC in Cleveland. That was way before I did the MC thing, Chris Jarvis. Um, I did associate with MCs when I was growing up, but neither one of those. And obviously, if you know anything about them, it's not something you discuss in public. Um, but yeah, so as I was watching the politics in Oregon slowly sink into a pit of hell, I was watching more and more conservative, right leaning, traditional people get more and more confidence to do it in public. And a lot of that was because of Trump. The spectacle, the show, the theater of Trump emboldened a whole bunch of people. And I'm grateful for that. I like that I was not a Trump fan at first. I never liked Trump before he ran for president, and I wasn't going to change it just because he was running for president. So the Don had a lot of work to convince me. I'm not going to lie. I've always been honest about that. I'm not a Trumper or anything like that. I support him as president. I voted for him twice now, but I didn't vote for him the first time. But um, it doesn't take away from the fact that the theatrics of Trump brought a whole bunch of stuff to the forefront, and I felt like I had to be part of it, and I'm glad I did. I don't have any regrets. Um, so yeah, I was going to 2A rallies and flag waves and stuff in Salem when Gibson showed up on the scene, and he come and asked me about what he thought about pay. I'm like, brother, if you can pull it off, do it. Get on it. You got to be careful. I gave him a short essay on the dangers and what he was going to expect from being a MAGA leader. And I said, if you're okay with all that, run with it, brother, run with it. And he did. And it turned out huge. And we got the first major patriot movement. There were already patriots. Patriot Prayer did not start the patriot movement, it just made it more well known because there were already Oath Keepers, there were already three percenters, there were already patriot movements and militias and people that were working hard behind the scenes to get the vote out and stuff like that. You know, thousands of people out there already doing their patriot thing. Patriot Prayer just made it more visible and gave us a theatrical way of showing our patriotism. So we got people's attention. But the thing is there wasn't, even the news coverage we got was twisted. My wife literally was witness to me getting interviewed by a local news station, and then we watched it later on, and she's just looking at me the entire time. That's not what you said. That's not, they took that all out of context. That's not, she just was like, she was incredulous. She could not believe that they were twisting my interview so badly in the news. And I told her, I said, it's left wing media, especially here in Oregon, especially in the Portland area. It's all extremely left slanted. So the Patriot Prayer movement and the Patriot movement in general at that time, the OG movement, as it's been called now, that was the uphill battle we had to fight. We were fighting media. We were fighting Portland City Hall. We were fighting stand down orders with the cops. So we had all that going against us. The only type of people that willingly get into a situation like that are either alphas or people with a couple screws loose. To willingly do what we did weekend after weekend, place after place, and put up with the persecution and sometimes physical violence, oftentimes physical violence, and the scrutiny that we got from our friends and our families. We had to hang out with each other because I don't think anybody else wanted to hang out with us when they found out what we did for a hobby. It literally turned our entire lives around, some of us. And anybody that says, "Oh, that looks like fun," you're not completely right in the head. I'm just going to say that straight out. There's a little there's a little bit something off with you if you decide that you want to put yourself through that to say I'm proud to be an American. And I'm not knocking it because I was right there. I'm a little bit screws loose myself, and I was right there with everybody leading the charge half the time. But when you're totally honest, you got to realize that you consider yourself an alpha because you got to rise above the fear and the concern and all of that to put yourself in harm's way. And then you got to be a little bit off to be excited about putting yourself in harm's way. So it's a little bit of both for most of us. We're some crazy alphas. How about that? But herein lies the problem. And I'll tie this into the new generation here in a second. When you get a room full of alphas, nobody wants to listen to anybody else. They want to do it their way. They part of being alpha is thinking you're right, wanting to be in control, not wanting to be controlled. So it makes it difficult to rally around one central figure. Joey was awesome at it. I don't know how he did it. To this day, I can't tell you how he pulled it off. But Joey Gibson was absolutely amazing at getting people to listen to him and rally around him and take advice and criticism from him. We don't have that anymore. Tommy is not a leader. Tommy does his thing and says, if you want to do it too, I got your back. We're right there. Tommy's got a heart as big as my house. And I'm not saying anything against him, but Tommy does not want to be a leader of men. In his mind, he probably wants to set an example and he wants to be noticed for being a patriot, but Tommy is not the one to say, I'm going to stand in front of the room and tell you guys how we should and shouldn't do things. Joey Gibson did have charisma. Among many things, Joey Gibson had charisma in bucketfuls. We don't have that. And Tommy's not that. And you know, Enrique's not really that anymore. I don't know how much you guys know about Proud Boy structure, but it's kind of like McDonald's. Every group, every outpost, every chapter, they're all self-governing. They do their own thing. Everybody, makes Enrique out to be a godlike figure because he was or is or whatever it is now the president of the Proud Boys. That just means that a whole bunch of people voted for him to be responsible for shit. That's it. and I know how it works. I was involved in the formation of the Proud Boys in Portland. I was tapped on the shoulder to be a local president in the early days of Portland Proud Boys. I didn't want that responsibility. I did not consider myself the person that could lead them like they needed to be leaded. So I bowed out. I said, "Nope, I can't do it. I'm not the guy to do that. I don't see myself being capable of doing that." And I want to just jump in because of pride and ego and fuck it all up. Some movements just don't have leaders, decentralized objectives. Yeah, but then we end up with what we got now. Patriot Shankapa. I don't know. I don't. He could try. I don't see him having a strong enough personality to do it. Um, Joey Gibson's personality was very, very fearless. Um, he was very singular minded, focused, and it's going to be tough to find another one. And I'm not putting Joey on a pedestal, but Joey and I fought constantly. Joey and I butted heads more than we agreed. I'm not putting Joey on a pedestal. Joey's a human being just like I am, but he had a gift. He had an awesome gift, and I will not. I'll never. I don't care if I end up not liking him. I won't take that away. You got to be honest. He had a gift, and he used that gift, and in my opinion, gave us a blessing because Patriot Prayer ignited something in this area that to this day is still going. And Tommy's the Deadpool of MAGA. That's hilarious. I love that. I love that because I'm a huge Deadpool fan. In due time, someone will rise to the occasion. I certainly hope so. That would be a best case scenario. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm privy to all the private chats. I'm privy to all the backroom conversations. I see all the stuff, and in this new generation, this new wave, it's going to be really difficult. Um, Joey started the OG wave. This newer wave is already established. They already have their niches. They already have their position. Some of them are benefiting from those positions, and they're not going to want to be told what to do. And again, that's not a knock. It's just the straight out truth. They're not going to be one. They're not going to want someone to tell them what to do. Um, the original OG Patriot movement seemed to start a lot with a little bit older demographic. Not hugely, but I see a lot of younger people in this newer wave, and that creates another dynamic that we didn't have to really deal with. But like I said, I think the biggest difference is Joey started that movement. So the people that came into the movement were already poised and ready to follow somebody because they came in following somebody. Uh, these guys been going at it for what's it, 9, 10 months now down at ICE. They're already established. They've already got it set in their head how they're going to do things. I have seen some changes, and I'm incredibly proud of that. And I'm incredibly happy that they have listened to some criticism, and the scene is changing. They've listened to advice, and they're changing their tactics, and I'm proud of that. Um, but with social media and everybody having cameras and the way that it started, this new wave is very, very. Mm, I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm trying to find the right word, and it's just not catching me. But this newest generation, all of them think they're doing the right thing. They think that it's working for them and for those around them, and they're not going to want to change. You can't come in now after almost a year and say, "Bro, you're doing it the wrong way." They're going to be like, "Look at the results I got." And unfortunately, due to social media, a lot of the results are 10,000 followers and, $250, $300 worth of cash apps a weekend and super chats and whatnot, and a channel with 100,000 people on it. That's their results. We didn't have all that. Our results were somebody on the left got arrested, somebody on the left got exposed. Um, we were on the news and they saw our message on the news. Those were our objectives. Those were wins to us. That was success to us. If we could march around the streets of downtown Portland an entire day and nobody get assaulted, that was a win. That was success for us. Nowadays they measure success in a different way. And therein lies the problem. Here comes my anger. And I'm going to try really, really hard to not name any names, but I'm pretty sure if I say what's on my mind, you guys are going to know. The criticizing between the two sides is absolutely disgusting. It's reached a level where it literally pisses me off. I was a little amused by it at first, to be honest. I'm like, oh, how cute is this? Oh. Now it's reached a point where it makes me literally physically ill to read what's being said on X between fellow patriots. It literally turns my stomach to see patriots talking about each other in such a way that they do. I don't believe in punching right in public. I don't believe in punching right, period. Maybe a little slap boxing, maybe a little shoulder shoving, a little argument. I've got two brothers. I know how it works in a family. But this punching, literal trying to hurt each other is really ridiculous and uncalled for and childish as hell. I watch it go on between the streamers. I watch it go on between journalists, whether it's your definition of journalist or not. In my opinion, I'm a journalist. I go down there and I make a journal of what I see. I'm a journalist. Call me not a journalist. I don't give a shit. I'm going to call myself a journalist. Not a very good one, not a very in-depth one. I don't know who started being the gatekeeper of the word journalist. Everybody that goes down there and puts an accounting of the event out there for everybody to see with commentary, whatever, that's being a journalist. You may be a citizen journalist, you may be an amateur journalist, you may be an aspiring professional journalist, but you're still a fucking journalist. I'm tired of this semantic gatekeeping. Stop talking shit about somebody because you think they're not journalist right. Somebody like Chelly, who's been out there doing it for over a decade and putting herself in harm's way sometimes, and has given us vital information in the movement to keep us safe and protected. You guys want to talk shit about somebody personal in my chat? I'm not going to go for it. I understand ideas. I understand not agreeing with general actions, but this attacking people specifically in public, it's got to stop, man. It's got to quit. I saw Bill put on his space earlier, and he's just giving his opinion because he's been doing this a long time too. And he doesn't, nobody does it exactly like everybody else. You have to find your own niche. You have to find your own slot to fit in. So everybody's going to do it a little bit different. Bill has his own way. I have my own way. Quincy has his own way. MDG has his own way. Fat Patriot has his own way. We're all different. And there's room for everybody. When that happens, there's a space where everybody feels comfortable. I'm going to 100. I support the guy, but I'm going to be 100% honest. There's something about MDG's stream that I can't handle. It doesn't make him wrong. It just means it's not a good fit for me, so I go hang out somewhere else. I don't sit there and talk shit about MDG. I've been on a panel with him. I've watched his streams long enough to know what he's about. I like him. For some reason, I just don't like his stream. There's sometimes I don't like Bill's streams. There's sometimes I don't like Quincy's streams because we're all doing different stuff at different times in different ways. But when Bill did his little quote unquote crash out, which is hilarious, if it's crash out for Bill, then so be it. But that wasn't much of a crash out, in my opinion. I don't think Bill's capable of a real crash out. He's too nice for that. But I saw so many people come in and start trolling Bill and talking negative about Bill. And when Bill wasn't giving them attention, they started attacking the people he was talking about. Personal attacks in a chat. First of all, it's absolutely pointless. Second of all, it's a good way to get banned. Third of all, in my opinion, it just kind of shows cowardice. NTK, we'll talk to you later. It shows cowardice to me. If you're that passionate about your disagreement with somebody, go talk to them about it. Don't spend all this time, all this energy, and all somebody else's time and energy bitching about it to somebody else and thinking you're accomplishing something. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to go in Big Mike's chat and bitch about Will or vice versa because it doesn't do any good. If I want to bitch about Will, I'll go to Will's page and do it or find some way to talk to him directly, which is kind of hard because he's blocked the crap out of me now. But I've got other people that'll tag him and he'll see. But I'm not going to go to Fat Mike's page and complain about Will. That's stupid. And if Will wants to talk about, or if Big Mike wants to talk about Will, I'm still not going to go to, yeah, that's right. Will is this, Will is that. I go straight to Will with it. Because that's what a man does. Doesn't attack other people for having an opinion about that situation. He goes and addresses the situation directly. MDG's not in the drama. Not that I'm aware of. I hope not. Yeah, I haven't seen him in it either. And you got to give him props for that. And I do. But it absolutely turns my stomach to see people, A, who claim to be patriots, and B, even worse, the people that are in the patriot movement want to turn this into a he said, she said, let's see how many swings we can get on another patriot. That's got to stop. You're going to put a rift right down the middle, and that's going to split the movement in half. Our numbers are already small. We're already outnumbered. Why do you want to make that worse? We need every single patriot to be part of the unit and to be on the same page and to have each other's backs. Every single one. We can afford to lose one because that makes us weaker. Doesn't matter who it is. Yeah, who's a patriot and who's not? You know who's a patriot? Somebody goes out there and does patriot stuff. We've got lefties that are patriots. We've got gay people that are patriots. Back in the Patriot Prayer Day, we literally had patriot speakers on the microphone in front of 1,000 of us that were trans because we weren't the gatekeepers of patriotism. If you considered yourself a patriot, you loved America, you stood up for America, because that's what patriotism is. Patriotism isn't about sexuality.
Sorry, I agree with popularity contest being the biggest patriots that the game of Survivor.
Yeah,
It's
it
not.
is.
We're not supposed to be against each other. We're supposed to be band together as one. Remember, united we stand, divided we fall. That's how that happens.
Yep, you're correct, babe. That, stop saying sorry. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Oh, being gatekeepers of Patriot. It's not about all that other stuff. It's being patriotic. Being patriotic means you love your country. And you can be all these other stuff that we don't necessarily agree about and still be a patriot. So I don't know who thinks that they have the right to tell somebody else they're not a patriot. Like I said, there's obvious exceptions to every rule. Like Will Tifa, and then you got the lefties that say we're the real patriots. Okay, I'm not talking about that, and I'm pretty sure you guys understand that. But my wife doesn't go down there and stand beside me at protests. She has in the past, but she won't go down to ICE. She's usually busy or something during flag waves. I can't even take her to flag waves. But I dare somebody to come tell me my wife's not a patriot. I dare somebody to come tell me my wife is patrioting wrong. I dare you to. Because it won't be me you're dealing with. I'll sick her on you. Because being a patriot involves nothing more than openly, proudly, and loudly being proud of your country. And you can't tell me otherwise. And like I said, I've been doing it for almost 30 years now. I know who real patriots are and who real patriots aren't. And that's what a real patriot is. Like I said, I've met people in this patriot movement from all different walks of life, all different lifestyles, all different races, colors, religions, backgrounds, or national origins. We've had legalized immigrants, nationalized immigrants, however you say that, people that immigrated correctly. We've had those speakers at our rallies, people that aren't even born in America. They were all patriots, and you will not convince me otherwise. That's my standards. Make me the gatekeeper, because that gate's wide the F open. Oh, Tinkerton's in here. What's up, buddy? Thanks for that laugh earlier. That was a good meme. I reposted it. That was hilarious. But yeah, make me the gatekeeper. We're gonna have a lot more people in our movement. You make me the gatekeeper. Sand Tiger says you are awesome and he likes what you have to say. You're her favorite now, Sand Tiger. Great. I thought I was going to get a sandwich later, but now she's going to go find Sand Tiger.
That's right. She's going to get a big one. I love all the patriots. I do. And I love the people that go out there and stand up for this country and fight for what is right and what they believe in. But I don't think that fighting with each other is what we need to be doing, because it's just making everybody look stupid, and I'm tired of everybody looking stupid. I want people to know that we're here and we're not fucking going anywhere. This is our America, and we need to make it what it should be. And if people don't like that, I'm very sorry, but that's how I feel.
She likes this new mic because everybody can hear her.
Yeah, I don't have to be on camera with no makeup.
But this whole thing, calling OGs washed up, irrelevant, whatever. I can't lie and say it doesn't get to me. Every time I read those letters in a negative post, O and G. Because like I said before, if you want to call somebody an OG, I've been doing this for almost 30 years. I think in the new movement, I was one of the first people they started calling OG in the new movement. Because I've been doing this for a long time and I've been around a lot of shit. And I embraced it. Made me feel proud that everybody was calling me an OG. Because where I come from, that's a compliment. Share Bear, she said thank you. Do you want to start your own stream?
I just have to.
What do you guys think? Put a 1 in the chat if you want Mrs. Anger to start her own channel.
They might not want to hear everything.
She wants to talk so much. We'll get her own channel. That would be funny. That'd be a good experiment. If you start a channel and I promote it on mine, we'll see how fast you get monetized.
2 days.
2 days, she'll have 1,000 subscribers. But when you know, you don't understand that when you start talking crap about OGs, everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. I feel it. And nobody has attacked me and nobody's talked shit to me. I still don't understand why. But nobody on the right. Yeah, they all want you to start your channel. Dual stream like Chris and Danny do. It'll be Angry and Mrs. Angry instead of Chris and Danny. Nobody has come to me specifically and individually and called me out on anything, criticized what I'm doing or any of that. Which to me is kind of funny because I'm basically doing the same thing that all the rest of the OGs are doing. So why is nobody talking shit to me about it? I don't understand that. Maybe because I'm not doing it to the extent everybody else is. Everybody else is getting more emotionally involved in it than I am. But it's getting so bad that I am emotionally getting involved. And I'm trying so hard not to. Because that's not the type of person I am. I try to let logic and common sense dictate my actions. But here we are, somebody making a post saying all you OGs are just washed up and trying to stay relevant. Well, of course we are. Nobody wants to be irrelevant. Of course we're trying to stay relevant. But how do you talk to somebody who's been doing it for 10 goddamn years and tell them their opinion doesn't matter? That they're washed up, even though people like Quincy and I are down there all the time, right next to you guys, right alongside you guys. But we're relevant. When Katie and Ryan got attacked that one weekend, when there wasn't that many people down there, I think it was the No Kings March day. Quincy was the one that swooped in and saved Katie. But he's irrelevant. He doesn't matter. And it's funny. Here's the funny thing. I'll point this out. I had to laugh about this in kind of a snickering, sarcastic, kind of cynical way. But I had to laugh about the fact that everybody had been talking smack to and about Quincy for months before that night. Then when Katie got in trouble on live stream and Quincy swooped in to save her, all of a sudden everybody liked Quincy for some time. Oh, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe we'll like Quincy again. And the minute he opens his mouth to say that he disagrees with something, all of a sudden he's public enemy number one again. That's persnickety. How about that for a word? That's persnickety. That's finicky. That's to put it in new terms, that's some sus shit, yo. I don't know, honey. You'd have to ask her. But if you follow the trend, since last October-ish, November-ish. It was cool. It was trendy. It was bonus points if you talked bad about Quincy. Quincy's a traitor. Quincy's wishy-washy. He's this, he's that. Because he expressed a contrary opinion because he thought for himself. I'm only 50-50 on his take about what he talked about. I agree with some of it. I don't agree with some of it. It's usually the way I am about every subject. But because he said something that didn't follow the hive mind of the new group, how about that? Think about that for a minute, guys. Who do we use hive mind on? Well, who do we use that word to describe? And that's exactly what's going on in the patriot movement. Y'all are being hive minded. There's a hot take. Go ahead and clip that and put that out there. Spread that all over X. A lot of patriots in the current movement are being hive mind. That's not what we're supposed to be about. And the minute he broke from that hive thing, half the patriot movement turned on him. But the minute he was there to help somebody, the trend shifted. The trend went the other way. Oh, maybe Quincy's not that bad. And then he turned around and opened his mouth again against the hive mind. And now everybody there. I had to get somebody out of Bill's chat because they were talking racist stuff about him. No, that don't ever fly around me. I don't like racism, period. But you talk racist shit about one of my best friends on the planet, you'd be lucky all you get is banned.
I don't care what color you are. If you're respectful, if you show respect, you're gonna get respect. I don't care what color you are.
Yeah, and you can show a difference of opinion without being disrespectful. But that racist shit, especially towards one of my fucking best friends, that's not gonna end you in a good place. I have, do, and will continue. I would sacrifice my life for that man. So don't think I'm not going to say anything when you're talking racist trash against him. But anyways, I diverge. Oh shit, Quincy and I argue all the time in public sometimes. We will disagree. Quincy and I aren't the same person. We think differently. We come from different points of views, especially when it comes to religion. Quincy and I will debate religion for days on end. We're both Christian. We both believe in the word of God, but we look at it from different ways. Okay, argue semantics, bigotry. Okay, don't be bigoted in my chat. How about that? Does that make you happy, Scotty? I don't care what you call it. Just don't fucking do it.
Now you've done it. You made a cuss.
But you'll never see me and Quincy fighting in public. Because I know the man's heart. Like I said, I've known the man for damn near 10 years now. I've spent weekends with him and his family. I know his wife. I know his kids. Not just what we see on the TV. That's what I was talking about on Mr. Bill's. Is for a lot of you people. Now, I notice there's a lot of really involved people in my chat right now. So don't take this to heart. If you're not one of these people, have the discernment to, there's the word right there, discernment. Have the discernment to know I'm not talking about you. But there's a lot of people in these chats and in the viewing community in general that if I blindfolded you and put you in the middle of Portland, you would have no clue where you were at. Have never seen, probably couldn't point out Portland on a map. Being hyperbolic, but you know what I mean. Some of you never been out of your state and you live on the East Coast. The only thing you know about Portland is what you see online. The only thing you know about us is what you see online. It's a freaking reality show. And that's why we're all hooked on it. There's Tinkerton. I've watched Tinkerton get a wave of shit online. Nobody knows Tinkerton in real life. Most of the people that are on these chats and you know, on X and all that, you guys don't know Tinkerton in real life. I don't agree with everything Tinkerton does, but I've had honest heart-to-heart conversations with Tinkerton. I know Tinkerton and I like Tinkerton. But I'm not going to talk shit about him if I don't know him. I can say I disagree. That's fine. You can have a contrary opinion all you want, but don't talk smack about people that you don't know. That's why I went down to ICE the very first day I went down there, for first night that I went down there. I didn't get down there till like October. Portland is a soap opera, and I was just as hooked as you guys are. I took a couple years off from activism, got really deep into my motorcycle stuff. So I took a couple years off of activism because anybody who's been around the biker world knows the two of those don't mix. You don't mix bikers and politics. It just doesn't work. And club life anyways. So I took a couple years off to go do, you know, go do MC stuff. And then the ice stuff started and I started watching on TV and I got wrapped into it just like you guys. So don't, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not talking shit about any of you guys for being hooked on this stuff because I was just as hooked. And I sat here night after night watching the live streams, watched Tommy knock somebody out, watched Honey Badger get attacked, watched both the Knicks go through their sagas down there. Dustin, what's up, brother? I watched all this shit on TV just like you guys do. And I was throwing my opinion out there. And I thought to myself, and I looked at my wife and I said, you know what? I can't talk about this anymore if I'm not willing to live it. I don't like talking about things that I have not been a part of. And then there was the big Patriot weekend. I'm a huge JD DeLay fan. He was down there. I wanted to meet both the Knicks. You know, there were other people down there that I don't recall right at this moment. But a lot of the guys that I watch on YouTube were all down there in one spot at one time. And I said, you know what? I'm getting in the car and I'm going down there and I'm going to see what's going on for myself and meet all these people that I sit here and I'm forming an opinion on. I'm going to go down there and fanboy a little bit. I also have a rule. I vote religiously in local elections, but I will not cast a vote for anybody that I have not met in person. I told Medina that a couple weekends ago. I said, you and I have to have at least a brief talk if you want my vote. I don't get online and offer criticism and nasty, you know, I'm talking negative stuff. I don't get on here and troll and talk shit about East Coast Patriots because I've not been there and I've not seen them. I'm not going to sit here and talk a bunch of smack about Zach X because he's in Minnesota. I don't know him as a person. I just know what I see on TV, and either I agree with it or I don't. And if I don't agree with it, I just won't watch it. It's really that simple, people. I say it all the time, and I'll keep saying it. This right here, all the problems that people cry about online can be solved with this. Click, done, gone. No more problem. I was not going to talk shit about the new school Patriots if I didn't go down there and meet the new school Patriots. I can be critical all you want, and I feel like I have a right to be critical, considering I've been doing this for 30 years almost. But I wasn't going to do it. other than generalization conversations, which I believe Quincy was doing. Quincy wasn't calling anybody out in specific. He was just generally talking about things that he disagreed with. And I'm sorry, but if you've been doing this shit for 10 years, you've got a right to talk, to have an opinion. If there comes this summer, if there comes a whole bunch of new people that we've never seen before, new characters in the reality TV drama, we get some new people that all of a sudden get emboldened and decide to start coming down ice and making waves down there. Angry that show better parts of Portland. We've been trying to do that, Sand Tiger. Let me get. I'm going to lose this thought if I don't get it out. If some newbies, some real newbies, come down and jump into the ice thing, I guarantee you, Tommy, Shane, Josh, NTK, all these people that are this current wave of patriots are going to have something to say about all the newbies. Hopefully it's positive, but they're going to have something to say about it. They're going to have an opinion, especially if they come down there doing things different than the current patriot wave does. Oh Jesus, don't bring Leo up, Louis. You'll get me tearing up. Don't bring Leo up. Leo is my buddy. Don't bring Leo up, bud, because you'll get me emotional in a hurry if you do that. But yeah, if new people come down, this current wave are going to have just as much criticism and just as much opinion about them as us OGs do about the new people. That's just how it works, man. We're not going to agree with everything you do. You're not going to agree with the way we did it. It's human nature. But you don't have to openly attack everybody for it. That's just useless drama. Yeah, Louis, I'm kind of curious as if I'm curious to whether or not we've met then. Because Leo was a friend of mine too. I got to go on a Patriot ride with him and a couple other Patriots. We got our bikes out, our motorcycles out, went on a long ride just a couple weeks before he met his tragic end. And I'm eternally grateful that I got to give him that weekend before he passed away. Everyone needs to hug and laugh at will. Oh, there's going to be a little bit more than laughing going on. Stay tuned. Will crossed a couple lines, and they're lines he should not have crossed. But again, that's another video. You guys want to think that Chelly and Quincy aren't patriots? You could not be further from the truth. I know both of them personally. I know them very well. If you want to think Chelly and Quincy aren't patriots, then maybe you're not. I'll just say it right out. They are very good people. Very, very good people. And you may not agree with everything they do. You may not agree to their motives, what you think their motives are. But my thing is, honestly, if you don't know the person personally, then you can't tell what their motives are. When they're a bit ambiguous. Like I said, there are exceptions. There's people like Will. There's people like Pam that are literal traitors, treasonous traitors that will shift when the wind blows a different direction. But these people you're talking about have never done anything overtly unpatriotic. I showed some of Leo's videos on my show, Louis. You got to tune in next time. I'm showing old school videos. I usually rely a lot on Leo's videos because I was either in them or standing next to him when he shot him. So, um, unless you know them personally, you can't really question whether or not they're patriots. And attack in our movement, in what we do, in this current environment that we're in, if if you tell somebody they're not a patriot, God, that's a pretty big insult, man. That is a very, very strong insult. I wouldn't put up with it. You tell me I'm not a patriot, we're not going to talk anymore. I'm done. I'm not even going to get into that argument with you because I've I've paid my dues. I've showed my patriotism with blood, sweat, and tears. Literally, I've lost friends over this movement. I've stood behind the patriots, old school and new. And everything I've always preached has been unity in the patriot movement for 10 fucking years now. My message has never changed. And guess what, people? Quincy's message has never changed either. It may be a little softer than it used to be in some ways because he's grown up and he's done some reevaluating and he changed his approach up a little bit. So I don't say softer in a bad way. I mean softer as in less abrasive than it used to be. I've never been a huge fan of street preacher's message. I believe in a gentler, kinder Christianity than they do. So their message kind of turned me off a little bit, but I've had their back since day one. Um, but that was an area that Quincy and I disagreed with for a while. I don't agree with his message as much as I didn't like the delivery of the hell shaking street preachers because my Christianity doesn't align with that, my spiritual walk, let's say. But I always had their back. I knew why they were doing it. I knew what their motives were. But Quincy and I disagreed with that all the time. And we were still friends because we were both patriots. And that's a huge thing in some of our lives. It is the only thing in some of our lives. My wife and I's lives center around patriotism. We got engaged on Flag Day, which was Trump's birthday. We got married on the 4th of July. We had an outdoor gazebo covered in 4th of July, the red, white, and blue ribbons and all of that stuff. Her dress was red, white, and blue. Everything we do is patriotic. Every single one of our vehicles, except one, has flags all over it. We have one invisible vehicle. And some of you have been actually involved in the boots on the ground activism understands why you have to have an invisible vehicle. It's been really hard. You don't know how hard it is for me. We've had that vehicle for what, 3 years now? And I have not stuck a flag on it somewhere. That is incredibly, incredibly difficult for me to keep from doing that. There literally has to be 100 flags floating around this property for various reasons and purposes and whatnot. We live patriotism. So if you were to tell me I'm not a patriot, that's like stabbing me with a knife, bro. And I kind of feel like Quincy feels the same way. That's like the ultimate dig. From the left, not so much, but from somebody on the right to say that, that's literally like telling Quincy he's not a Christian. You may not agree with his particular brand of Christianity, but he's definitely a Christian. He definitely tries to live his life in a Christ-like manner. But when you tell somebody who's an activist, patriot, that you question their patriotism, that cuts deep, man. And to get that from somebody on the right, that's huge and uncalled for. Because not a single one of us has the right to judge somebody else's patriotism as to whether or not it's worthy of the word or not. I don't know. I'm just irritated. I don't know why. And my wife said to me, if they're leaving you alone, then leave it alone. And nobody's attacked me and nobody said shit to my knowledge. Nobody on the right has said shit about me. So don't get that mistaken. I'm not responding to anybody starting shit with me from the right. Nobody's done that. But you got to understand, when I see here and see my friends attacked over and over and over again, day in and day out, it's going to get to me eventually. She's advising me to stay out of it and not say anything. So honestly, this is me picking my words wisely. I can't not say anything. Because it's a big deal, man. Like I said, telling somebody that they're not patriotic when they live for this patriot stuff, it's not okay. Not when you purport to be somebody on the same side. And they keep putting it over and over and over again on social media, trying to get attention for it. I'm not gonna lie, I try to get attention. This is why I've posted my will drama on X. I'm trying to get attention. I like attention. I'm not gonna lie. Why do you think I have a YouTube channel? Why do you think I ride a motorcycle louder than a sawmill? I like attention. But when you try to earn your attention by punching right, I kind of don't have respect for that. Wow, did I really have over 100 again? Nice. See, that's good for me. I don't have a very big channel, so over 100 viewers, I'm digging that. Thank you guys very, very much. And yes, if you could hit the buttons, that would be great. And just so you know, if you have Cash App me or anything like that, I won't see it until after the stream's over. So sorry about that. I can't call it out, but I do appreciate it, and I will give you a responding message in return telling you I appreciate it. A heart at the very least. I get busy. I have a life, guys. I have a anywhere between 50 and 60-hour a week job. I have a whole ton of animals. I got grandkid here. I got family. I got a yard to keep up on. I got vehicles to get maintenance. And then I try to sleep in the middle of all that. So a lot of times, I try to get this in where I can fit it in. Am I supposed to be mod? I don't know. Are you a mod? I didn't know I made you a mod. I can't tell who my mods are and who they aren't on this program. It doesn't give me the different colored names. So sometimes I forget who I made a mod. Um, yeah. So you guys got to forgive me sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I don't post every day. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. But I do have quite a bit of life outside of this online patriot stuff. That's why it's so hard for me to get down there as much as some of these guys do. First of all, I live an hour away. And second of all, I work nights. So going down there at night is not always a great option. It was a while ago. Yeah, I'm dumb sometimes. What can I say? I forget stuff. Um, but yeah, I get really busy and I do my best because I really love it. when there's this many people paying attention to what I have to say. I really do. I like attention. I'm kind of a somber, stoic person in real life. Do I have on all messages? I don't have any messages on. I'm in a program at Eagle that I can't. I think I see all messages. It doesn't give me that option on here. I think I'm starting it. I think I'm trying to read chat and speak at the same time. I think I have all comments on just by default. But yeah, if I don't post for a few days, it's not because anything's wrong. It's just because I'm extremely busy. And like I said, working nights, and I have a house full of people and animals, so it's hard to sleep during the day. So sometimes even when I am awake, I'm zombified, and I don't always catch everything as soon as I should. But anyways, that's what I think about it. The bottom line is you have to understand that it's a reality show to most people. Like I said, I'm looking in my chat, and there's a lot of very active people in my chat right now. So I'm not talking to you guys that are actually participating in this in some way, shape, or form. Even if you are on the other side of the country, you guys give us information. Somebody in Bill's chat earlier brought up the situation where we had a, a big event in the middle of the protests. There's a lot of spray going on, big fight and all that, and we lost track of Ground Zero Shane. And my chat just instantly went to work and was feeding me information about where he was, watching his feed, getting us connected, all of this. Um, I would have been 100,000 times more stressed out at that moment had it not been for you active members of chat having our backs. And no, I have not, Chris. I want to. I'm not. I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure. But I've heard other right wing commentators, however you say it, other podcasters talk good stuff about the new Punisher. I think I'm going to have to figure it out where it is and try it. I've heard some really good stuff about it, so I'm definitely it's on my to watch list. But yeah, you guys that are active in chat, you guys are awesome. But there's a lot of people that are just straight up watchers, and that's okay. Um, like I said, I do it at other places. As much of a oh, we have Disney Plus. Ooh, might have to check that out when I'm done live streaming. Um, we have a 3-year-old in the house. We have to have Disney. um, I'm a straight watcher when it comes to other places, East Coast, Texas, Minneapolis, stuff like that. Um, so I get it. But when people that are straight watchers want to jump on a bed, it's like I'll bring it up again because it's the best example I can think of. But when you're watching Survivor or you're watching The Bachelor, what are some other reality shows like that, hon? We don't watch reality shows that much, so it's hard to tell. But these ones that have teams, and you pick a team, and then when somebody says something bad about your team, you want to defend them, and when somebody says bad about the other team, you want to jump on and join your team in bashing the other team. It's like football. Football. I'm from back in the Midwest. I grew up with NFL teams. I'm from Cleveland. We got some of the most hardcore fans out there, and the Browns suck ass. Always have, always will. Usually one of the worst teams in the roster, but we defend them with blood. And if anybody said anything about the Cleveland Browns, the entire city would jump on them for it. And I think it's the same thing in the Patriot movement. You guys pick your favorites, you pick who you like. And when there's a rift down the middle, you find yourself falling on one side or the other. And yeah, reality shows are not reality. Ours is. Ours is though. And well, Jarvis, aren't you from down south? So you're a Bengals fan? Bengals Bengals fan? I was actually living in Cleveland, and I was a closet Steelers fan for a bunch of my life, so that was rough. Being from Ohio, you probably understand what that means. Now I'm just a Buckeyes fan. We don't do NFL out here, which is good. NFL got woke. I don't watch it anymore, anyways. But yeah, you pick a side, and we're all passionate. Otherwise, you wouldn't be involved in this. Even as a viewer, you're passionate. So I understand people drifting this way with their favorite, or drifting this way with their favorite. And it's easy to get involved in the drama when it's just online. You don't have to see these people in person. You probably will never see these people in person. So take me for instance. It's completely 100% easy as hell for you guys to sit here and talk shit about me in my chat, because you'll never see me in real life. You don't know anything about me in real life. So it's easy with the anonymity of a screen and a keyboard to put all your opinions out there. But I would challenge you to take a minute and realize that we're real people. And a lot of us are seriously, deeply invested into this patriot movement. People like Quincy. This movement is Quincy. Quincy is his entire existence, pretty much. I mean, he has his religious angle too, of course, but he tries to wrap them all up in the same thing. He's a real person. Somebody in Bill's chat started talking about his wife and kids. That's when I had to ban him. I said, you start talking about my wife, you put your life in your own hands, because I'll just let her go. There's a reason she doesn't read chats and messages and stuff all the time, because she will get really upset, and then everybody's got a problem on their hands. But talking about people's wife and kids because you have a difference in the way they patriot, that's uncalled for. Well, see, the problem with that, Boba Fett, is I'll get there before you, and then I'll get like the 3 entree meal, and I'll be all fat and sluggish, and you'll just beat the living crap out of me. So I don't think I'm going to do that. That's a no-win situation for me, because once I get beat up, then it ruined my dinner too. So there's no way around that. First time last night was the first time I got a little heated. I don't know where, I didn't see that, so not sure you're talking about if you might get charged an entry fee into the cult. Yeah, I can't meet anybody at Panda because I actually like Panda, and I will eat myself sick before anything even happens. But that's my 2 cents on it, guys. Remember that we're all people. And a lot of times when you come into these chats and you're just trolling for a negative validation or whatever it is, whatever your purpose is for being, like I said, I understand the difference of opinion. I welcome differences in my chat. You've never seen me axe anybody off of my channel. I've even told my mods to stop being mean to people, quote unquote. I like differences of opinion. I like things to talk about. I like to debate. I like to argue sometimes. But when you start doing ad hominem or personal attacks, and then getting people's families involved, and then bigotry. There you go. I think that was Scotty that was correcting me. Bigotry, not racism. Um, that's all going too far, man. And it's not 99% of the time. It's not stuff you would say to somebody in their face. So why say it online? You can guarantee if I type it, I am willing to say it to you. People have found this out. My opinion is my opinion. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid to say it. If I can't say it to your face, I'm not going to say it online either. Tommy is a PR gift. Learn to appreciate it. I do. I do, Apache Dog. If you've been watching the whole thing, you see, I nothing but love. Tommy's my boy, and I consider Tommy a friend now. I got nothing bad to say about Tommy. Like I said, we sometimes we may disagree about tactics or whatever, but as far as a person goes, Tommy's a great dude. And but like I said, if anybody has a right to talk serious negative smack about another patriot on here, it would be somebody in my position, and I won't do it. So why would you? Why would you do that? I feel like I have the right to do that, and I won't. Because first of all, I think trolling makes you look silly. I troll the left, and I probably look silly when I do it. I troll Bill, uh, but that's purely fun. Most of the time, we're DMing each other or talking on the phone or texting or whatever, making fun of each other in the background too. I'm pretty sure we've both made it clear that when Bill and I troll each other, it's completely out of fun. And Quincy and I do it too. When we have late night panels where Bill, Quincy, me, and usually Laura are all on there, we talk so much shit to each other and we're just rolling and laughing the whole time because we're friends and it's fun and we can do that. And every single one of us knows that we'll see each other in person sometimes. So we're not going to say something stupid that we're going to regret because there's accountability in our circle. Anything we say in line, we're going to have to answer for in person. So we're not going to do that. And like I said, it's easy behind the anonymity of a keyboard and a screen to talk smack about somebody that you're never going to meet. But that's not that's not honorable, man. I'm a big believer in honor, and that's not honorable. I try to do everything honorable. I'm not perfect, but I try to. And although I disagree with some of the stuff that's going on by some people that I know very well and that I consider friends are doing things online that I don't agree with right now, I'm not going to get on there in public and start bashing them for it. I'll talk to them in person. I'll talk to them in DMs, just me and that person directly. But I'm not going to get in public. I'm definitely not going to troll their chat. And if you know of any Patriot events in your area, I challenge you to go join them. Go do them. Go to a flag wave if nothing else. Go hang a sign out and encourage people to vote when the voting cycle comes around. Go do something outwardly patriotic. Something that's going to get you attention, maybe negative attention. Go put your ass on the line like we do. Put yourself out there. Put your face out there. Don't wear a mask. You guys never see me in a mask. Go put yourself out there on the line and sacrifice that for your patriotism and then come back and be critical. I guarantee you, if you haven't done it and you go do it, you're going to have a different perspective. You're going to have a different point of view. Hopefully. I'm going to give everybody in here credit enough for being smart enough to learn something from that experience. I challenge you guys. The weather's getting nicer, even in some of your bad parts of the country. I challenge you. Go do something simple. Like I said, stand out there with a sign promoting your favorite candidate for school board or something. Doesn't have to be anything huge, doesn't have to be fantastical. But go out there and put your ass on the line for a patriotic action. And then come back and tell me how it changed your point of view. Because even if you're not critical of patriots, doing something like that can give you a better understanding of what we're actually going through, usually on a times 10 level. in the situations that we're in here in Portland. I don't see very many places out there that equal the intensity of Portland. You got LA, you got Minneapolis, sometimes in New York. You got a couple few isolated places, but for the most part, I don't see anybody else matching the intensity of Portland. Unless you've actually done it, even on a small level, you really can't fathom, you really can't understand. And that's why I get upset when people talk shit about OGs, because we've been doing it for a decade or more, putting ourselves out there. We've all been doxxed, we've been visited, we've lost jobs, we've had friends and family disown us. We've sacrificed a lot for this patriot movement that a lot of you guys see as entertainment. Going to Porter Block Convoy. I heard about that. I want to see the live streaming of that. If you know somebody that's live streaming that, will you DM me or something so that I could DM me on X? That's the best way to do it, so that I can watch that. That would be cool, Robbie. I want to see that. I like watching, because when the Canadians do it, they don't do it as often as we do, but when they do it hard. So I kind of want to watch that. But yeah, guys, go experience it yourself and then come back. Yeah, there's that too, Woofum Gang. There's powers that be that can get involved, especially in the last 5 or 6 years. It's not as easy as going out there and pointing a camera and begging for super chats. That's not reality. Almost every one of us that go out there that you guys watch when we're boots on the ground, almost every one of us has lost something as a result of our right-wing activism. It's not as easy as casual viewers like to think it is. People, friends, family, jobs, sometimes houses, all of this stuff is potentially sacrificed when we go out and do what we do. And every single patriot that goes down to Portland Ice, or has marched through the streets on the Patriot Prayer Days, or that gets involved in a 3% action, or gets caught at an Oath Keepers meeting, or any of that, every single one of them is offering up all that stuff as a sacrifice for patriotism. That's a patriot in my eyes. That's a patriot, because it's not that simple to do what we do. It's kind of crazy. We were watching old film with, I think it was with Mr. Bill, and I made a statement. I said, how crazy is it that we just think it's normal that we get pepper sprayed? He literally said, Robert said on one of his streams, well, it's only tear gas or something like. He said, oh, it's only pepper spray. That's a whole lot better than, I'd rather have pepper spray than tear gas any day. I'd rather have no spray. And so would 99% of Americans would rather have no spray. But we're sitting down there comparing chemical warfare. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. Oh, thank you, Rev. Thank you, sir. So it's not that easy. It's not that simple. And if you've never done it, then you can't understand. Honestly. Lighter Mike is speaking in Patriot War Rooms. God, I don't even know if I want to listen to it. Now you got me curious, but I don't know if I want to go do that. I don't consider myself MAGA, I think. Well, some of us can be both, unfiltered. I consider myself MAGA, but MAGA is not Trump. Trump just repopularized it. MAGA actually started with Reagan. And I want to make America great again. I don't care who the president is. I want to make America great again. It's BS that getting attacked over words is accepted. Exactly. I had a fight on my ex with Marines about that the other day. I said, I'm built different. If I punched everybody that called me some bad words, insurance rates would go through the roof. And I'd probably be in jail. But if we were allowed to punch everybody that said words, that'd be a bad day for a lot of people. Words are words, man. What's wrong with you? Oh, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. Teenage kid asked me not to get boots on the ground involved. He's seeing what can happen. I have to protect us. See, yeah, that's a tough thing, Jester. That's a tough thing. You know, there's sometimes when my wife tells me not to go down there and I get upset, but I have to remind myself that 99% of the time she's very, very supportive. And the things I do affect her too. Should I tell them the story about the bar? Yeah. There's a picture out there. There was a scuffle in downtown Portland, and my wife was working, and I was down there, and I ended up in the scuffle, and I'm literally just wailing on somebody. And my wife was a bartender at the time, and she's facing the bar or facing the room and has her back to the bar, and one of the patrons was like, look, turn around, look. And my wife turns around, and there's 5 big screens behind the bar with my face just wailing on an Antifa. I got on national news that day. And they're like, I worked at the bar too, so they all knew who I was. Isn't that your husband up there? And I didn't think about that till later. I thought it was fun, you know. It's like, oh, badge of honor. I'm on TV beating up Antifa, but I'm like, there's a whole bar full of patrons at her job watching me do that on TV. Where I work, which could have potentially jeopardized my job, but that could have had a negative fallback on her. And I didn't think of that. Didn't think about that for a long time. One day it just occurred to me that that was putting her in potential danger. And we don't think about that. We just get excited and our testosterone gets flowing and we go down there and, this is okay. We're patriots. F you. F Antifa. You know, um, we don't think about how it affects anything around us. We're just doing our thing. But beside our personal sacrifices, we're asking those around us to make sacrifices too. And that's why I'm relating to what you're saying right now, Jester Junkie. Your teenager's probably right. Because your teenager has to go to school and people watch things. Everybody's on social media now. Our kids see what's going on. I've walked out of my room and seen them watching my escapades on an 82-inch TV in the living room. So it's bigger than most people think it is. So to tell somebody that they're not patriot enough or they're a traitor or whatever because they're doing things differently than you do, that's unacceptable. That's bullshit. It's not very intelligent. It's not very honorable. And then to do it online and then hide and block somebody when they want to respond. That's lefty shit right there, bro. That's not how we do things. It's not how I do things. I'm a boomer though. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it is how we're supposed to do it nowadays. I just haven't caught on. What? I did finish the story. What are you talking about? I don't know. It just irks me. And this was a tough call because there's a part of me that says doing this live stream is just perpetuating it and making it worse. But unfortunately, I've had a lot of people ask me what my opinion is on this because I have been around for a while. So I figured I was somewhat obligated to throw it out there. Hopefully, it helped some and not. Hopefully, it doesn't produce a negative result. Hopefully, it's a net positive. But you guys know I like to talk to this screen. So, did anybody think there wasn't going to be a point in time where I threw my opinion out here? If you didn't think I was going to speak on this, then you don't know me very well. But I'm going to have to wrap this up, guys. I'm losing daylight and it's not raining right now. So I got to get out there and do some more yard work. I have a 3-year-old, so I got a 3-year-old grandson. So I got to, and he shares a yard with the dogs. So I got to go out there and make it safe for the 3-year-old. Yeah, he doesn't live out in the yard, but he goes out there and plays with the dogs in the same space. I don't think anybody thought he lived with the dogs here. Yeah, he probably wants to live out there with the dogs.
That's why we call him Mowgli.
He likes the fact that the dogs don't have to wear clothes because he doesn't like to wear clothes. And that's another thing. If anybody sees that little bitch, Will Antifa, my grandson may have been on the screen without clothes on, but I wasn't showing everything. He's a 3. Oh, he had shorts on, didn't he? Yeah, he did. I wouldn't have let him.
Shit about my grandson.
Oh, Jesus. Why did I say that with her in the room?
No, I'm not playing.
Stop yelling at me.
That son of a bitch.
Stop yelling at me. I didn't do it.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at Will. You better watch his mouth. So he's going after my grandson. Cool. No. He just opened up a whole can of whoop ass he don't want. You didn't want me in this. Now I'm fucking in it.
Well, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have said that in front of her. I've been trying to keep her out of it. Oh, I was trying to not do that, and I slipped up. See what I mean about sacrificing? That's going to sacrifice the peace and quiet for the rest of the night because Will's an idiot. Mama Bear, thank you so very much. Oh, yeah. I'm going to hear about this for the rest of the day now because I couldn't keep my mouth shut for another 10 minutes. Oh. Yeah, Will said something about me having my 3-year-old grandson on a live stream with no clothes on, but he did have clothes on, and he's a boy. He doesn't have to have a shirt on. And regardless, if you look at a 3-year-old on a screen and that's what you think about, then you're the one with the issues, pal, because nobody else is thinking about that. Yeah, I'm so going to pay for that for the rest of the night. Oh, and that I knew that was the one thing that was going to tick her off, and I had not mentioned that to her. I literally forgot she was in the room. Oh, but yeah, he did that. Apparently, he did a live this morning, maybe last night or this morning, talking all this shit about me, and then he made it private so nobody could see it. That's yeah, that's some fake bullshit right there, man. But it's all right. What comes around goes around. He'll get his. Whether I do it or life does it, fate does it, whatever. But anyways, that's like I said. I gotta go do yard work between raindrops and try to remember try to enjoy the. What day is this? Is this Friday? Hello.
Yes, it's Friday, and it's going to be Will's last day.
Oh my God, this is not gonna stop. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get off here. This is what happens when you don't watch your mouth.
Well, he's not going to talk about.
Okay, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Don't shut me down. Don't
Oh
do that.
my God.
He's not going to talk about my grandson. My grandson was not naked. He had no shirt on. He had shorts on. And if he's talking about a naked child, he's a fucking pedo himself. Matter of fact, he's a cocksucking pedo that needs to go bye-bye. He's done. I will drive my ass to Portland and hunt him down, and I will whoop his ass, and I don't give a shit. I don't care. Maybe me whooping his ass will keep somebody else's child safe. Piece of shit. All right. What are you doing?
And there you have that. This is my fault. Yeah. No, the problem is she's not going to be able to get to Will in the meantime. I'm going to have to pay for that. Yes, very awkward, Scotty. Very awkward. All right, guys. Like I said, yes, I'm going to get her own channel. I'm going to get her own channel. Let her. Problem is, we only got one computer, but I'll teach her how to do it on the phone. I'll teach her how to do it on the phone, and then you guys can go subscribe to her, and she can rant and rave on her own channel. Like I said, we'll do a. Somebody said the dual streams like Chris and Chris and Danny do. That would be funny. I'll keep you guys abreast on that situation because I got a feeling it may turn interesting. But in the meantime, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the contributions. And my final words are be good to one another and patriot on. And don't talk shit online. You ain't willing to back up.